Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to tell you what happens in your body when you consume psyllium every day. Psyllium is a very healthy fiber and brings many beneficial effects to our body. I'll also tell you how to add it to your daily routine and some precautions you need to take. You'll love this video. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. If you love tips on nutrition, health, and fitness, you're going to love this channel, so go ahead and subscribe. Remember to activate the bell to receive notifications. I have new videos every day. You're going to love it. Let's start talking about psyllium, a wonderful fiber for our health that brings many beneficial effects, including those related to weight loss and cholesterol. I'm going to explain all of that to you right now. Write down here for me if you've ever used psyllium before and what results you noticed in your daily routine. I would love to see your comment. Tell me if you take any type of fiber on a daily basis, if you care about that, about meeting your recommended fiber intake. Often people aren't able to reach it. Usually, we should be consuming around 20 to 25 grams of fiber per day. So let me know if you usually eat foods that are rich in fiber. Remember that I have a video here on the channel talking more about which foods these are and how to add more fiber-rich foods to our daily diet. And if you like this topic about psyllium, about fiber, about supplements that can help with weight loss, leave a like and I'll come back and make more videos like this for you. The first major benefit of psyllium is that it can help slow down the absorption of carbohydrates, better controlling blood sugar levels. Psyllium is basically pure fiber. It comes from the husk of the Plantago ovata plant. It is a soluble fiber, and when it reaches your stomach, it absorbs a lot of water. So it ends up forming a gel, which brings other benefits for you, and this gel also slows down the absorption of carbohydrates in the intestine. In this way, it can help control blood sugar levels. Of course, this doesn't mean you have a free pass to eat a chocolate cake, a whole chocolate bar, or a tub of ice cream. But if you already have a more balanced diet and add psyllium, it can further improve your blood sugar levels. Another benefit is that it can help with weight loss, because as it forms that gel I just mentioned, a thicker, more viscous gel, it ends up being noticeable in your stomach. So it gives you an earlier feeling of fullness, especially if you take psyllium before lunch or dinner. So there are people who choose to take this psyllium supplement before these main meals. If you're going to choose the meal when you feel the hungriest during the day, whether it's dinner or lunch, you take a little psyllium with water about 20 minutes beforehand. I'll tell you how much in a moment, and it will form a gel in your stomach. So when it's time for you to eat, it will already be filling part of your stomach, and naturally you end up eating less, which also supports the weight loss process. In addition, this gel ends up staying in your stomach longer, which also gives you a more prolonged feeling of fullness from the food you ate at lunch. So you'll probably snack less in the afternoon, you'll have less desire to nibble, because the feeling of fullness will last longer. And since it helps regulate your blood sugar levels, you'll have fewer insulin spikes and less urge to eat, less desire to look for something to snack on because your blood sugar dropped too quickly. So in several ways, it can help you in the weight loss process. Another great benefit of psyllium is that it can actively help lower your cholesterol levels. This is because it binds to bile acids and to fat, and this binding that happens in your intestine is excreted through your stool. The fibers are not absorbed, they do not enter our bloodstream, but they are able to bind to certain types of bile salts and some fats and excrete them through the stool, reducing the total amount of cholesterol and even increasing the good cholesterol in our body. So, if you're looking to control your cholesterol, psyllium can be a great ally when combined with a balanced diet and a healthy lifestyle. Remember, I have a playlist on how to lower cholesterol and triglycerides, linked below in the description. Since psyllium can help control cholesterol, it can also help improve blood sugar levels and even prevent you from having large insulin fluctuations, developing insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome. Issues related to glucose metabolism, to the sugar in our blood, it can be very beneficial for cardiovascular health. So if you have any heart issues, if you're looking for a supplement to add to your daily routine for better results, it's a very safe supplement because it's sold in powder or capsule form. But it's really just a food because it's the husk of a plant. So it's very safe, and in fact, it can even be recommended for people who have some type of cardiovascular problem, very high cholesterol, as I mentioned before. If you already have any health issues and you want to know whether you should use psyllium or not, remember to always talk to your doctor or your nutritionist in your city to check the best time to take it in relation to your meals, the best dosage, and other medications. Remember that this video is for informational purposes only. Another really cool detail about psyllium is that it has a prebiotic effect, meaning it serves as food for the beneficial bacteria and yeasts in our gut. So it promotes the growth of good bacteria, which improves intestinal function, reduces episodes of constipation, and even diarrhea. It helps decrease inflammation in the gut and supports healthy intestinal function. And we know that the gut is closely connected to our immunity, allergies, and even our brain. So it's very important to have a healthy gut with good bacteria growing, and psyllium also helps with that in this regard. Psyllium is very helpful in regulating bowel movements. Since it absorbs water, if you are constipated and you take psyllium and drink plenty of water, it will cause its gel to absorb more water and mix with your stools that were drier, making them easier to pass. It makes the stool more moist and softer, making it easier to eliminate. The stools are also more noticeable because of increased peristalsis. Psyllium stimulates the formation of a larger mass of stool in the intestine, which ultimately helps to expel the stool that was stuck. And if you have diarrhea, since it absorbs liquid, if you still take psyllium with water, you need to take the same precautions. It will absorb more of the excess water from your stool and make the stool more formed. So, psyllium is not a laxative, it is an intestinal regulator. If you have diarrhea, it helps to normalize things, and if you are constipated, it also helps to regulate your bowel movements. How much psyllium should you consume? Many people want to know this. Scientific studies suggest that an amount that can be considered safe for people is between 5 and 10 grams per day, but you won't necessarily need to consume 5 or 10 grams every day. The most important thing when we think about adding a fiber supplement is that this increase should be gradual and done little by little. So ideally, you should start with a teaspoon in a glass of water. Always remember that psyllium needs water to do its job, to form the gel, so it can become that type of fiber that helps slow down carbohydrate absorption and binds to fat in the intestine. So it needs water. When we think about fiber, we think about water. So always dissolve psyllium in a glass of water. For 1 teaspoon, use a cup of water. If you're going to use a bit more, make sure to have a glass with more water as well. The more fiber you consume, the more water you should drink throughout the day to avoid intestinal blockage, because that can actually happen. If you start eating a very large amount of psyllium or any other fiber without hydrating, you can indeed end up with some intestinal blockage. So you need to be careful to always dissolve it in water and drink plenty of water throughout the day. Think of fiber like a dishwashing sponge. If it's wet, it's flexible. If it's dry, it's hard, and that's not what you want for your body. Keep this analogy in mind, and you'll remember to drink plenty of water throughout the day. And if you have trouble drinking water, remember that I have a video here on the channel talking about 9 ways to add more water throughout the day with lots of ideas, and I'll leave it down below to help you. But as I mentioned, you can start right away with a teaspoon in a glass of water, and you'll already begin to experience beneficial effects. If necessary, you can increase the dose and always prioritize taking it before meals when you know you'll be eating more carbohydrates or when you need to control your hunger more, so you can also get those weight loss related benefits. Psyllium really has no taste at all. It's pure fiber. So if you want, you can add it to your morning smoothie, your green juice, or just drink it with a glass of water before lunch. It won't taste like anything. Some people like to sprinkle it over beans or mix it into soup. Whenever you feel it fits, you can add psyllium. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a glass of water, but remember that at the meal where you consume psyllium, you should add more water to better hydrate this fiber. Also, it's a good idea not to start with a very large amount, as I mentioned before, because otherwise you might experience effects like abdominal bloating, gas production, intestinal discomfort, and that feeling of a more swollen belly. Because it's a large amount of fiber, and since it ends up being heavily fermented by the bacteria and yeasts in your gut, it produces a lot of gas there and can cause other effects as well. You might even end up with diarrhea, so it's always best to increase the amount gradually. And if you notice that your digestion is improving and you're getting good results, you don't necessarily need to reach 10 grams of psyllium. Maybe you'll do just fine with 5 grams. Always check with your doctor or nutritionist in your city who knows your case. It's important to mention that if you have any kind of intestinal problem, inflammatory bowel disease, any type of intestinal obstruction, intestinal cancer, or any issue related to your digestive tract, do not take any supplements, including psyllium, without first consulting your doctor. Remember, this video is for information only and studies are on healthy people. If you have a health condition, always talk to your doctor first for your safety. And do not give psyllium to children without a doctor's recommendation. After all, the dosages for children will be different, so if in doubt, always consult your doctor or nutritionist. Let me know down below if you've ever used psyllium, if you were familiar with it, and what beneficial effects you noticed. I'd love to read your comment. Remember to like the video as that helps me. Share it with anyone who might enjoy or need it. Let's work together to spread this chain of good because that's what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.